What if Atlantis wasn't a legend, but a warning? Across thousands of years, whispers have echoed through ancient scrolls, Hermetic texts, and temple walls. A civilization once flourished, far beyond our current understanding, not just in architecture or technology, but in spirit. Atlantis was said to align its society with energy, vibration, and the cosmic laws that govern all things. But something shattered that harmony. A collapse so powerful, it wiped their knowledge from memory and sank it beneath myth. Or so it seemed. What if Atlantis didn't disappear beneath the sea, but within us? What if it's not gone but forgotten? The ancient records don't just speak of the past. They hint at cycles, at rises and falls, at choices. And now, when the world trembles and consciousness stirs again, that forgotten story is waking up, not just to be remembered, but to be lived. And the first step is to listen. Atlantis was not just a city, it was a consciousness. According to esoteric texts, its people understood energy as a language. They built not only with stone, but with sound, intention, and resonance. Structures aligned with stars weren't just beautiful, they were functional. Gateways, amplifiers. They knew the earth was alive, and they listened. But something changed. Power shifted. Knowledge became control. Some say it wasn't one disaster, but a slow descent. Greed replaced wisdom. Technology outpaced spirit, and eventually, even they forgot what they once knew. But fragments remain. In myths, in symbols, in dreams, hidden in plain sight. And now, in our time, those fragments are returning, not as memories, but as questions. Could we reclaim what was lost? Not by rebuilding Atlantis, but by becoming what they once were? The answer is not in the ruins. It's in the remembering. The fall of Atlantis wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. Hermetic texts suggest that once the heart separates from the mind, imbalance begins. Atlantis excelled in both science and spirit, but slowly, intellect overshadowed intuition. Machines grew stronger, but inner vision weakened. They forgot that wisdom without humility leads to collapse. Their fall was not a punishment, it was a consequence, a mirror for us. Today, we repeat their steps. We worship data, ignore wisdom, and trust systems over soul. But esoteric records didn't preserve Atlantis to glorify the past. They're warnings, maps, codes, a memory planted in our collective psyche to wake us up before we fall the same way. What if the resurgence of Atlantis isn't about uncovering lost artifacts but activating dormant truths within us? Perhaps Atlantis never truly vanished. Perhaps we are it, rising again, not as a place, but as a state of being. If this ancient truth still echoes in your soul, maybe it's time to follow the call. Subscribe, not for content, but for the pieces of yourself waiting to be remembered. They say Atlantis harnessed energy not through combustion, but through resonance. Crystals aligned with planetary frequencies powered their cities. This wasn't magic, it was lost science. They understood vibration as the root of all form and used it to heal, to grow, to elevate consciousness. Temples weren't just sacred, they were precise structures for amplifying human awareness. But when ego grew louder than wisdom, the energy turned unstable. Some say their greatest machine, the central crystal, imploded, collapsing the frequency grid. Not from malice, but misuse. These aren't myths, they're warnings in code. What if such energy tools aren't gone, just waiting to be re-remembered? The ancients left clues, etched in symbols, buried in language. And if we learn to listen, the blueprint of a higher civilization may emerge again, not through excavation, but through inner revelation. The fall of Atlantis wasn't caused by a single event, it was a slow unraveling. As knowledge turned into control and wisdom into hierarchy, their once harmonic society fractured. Power was no longer shared, but hoarded. Some tried to warn, to restore balance, but it was too late. The misuse of energetic technology began warping nature itself. Weather shifted, tides rose, and magnetic fields destabilized. And yet the greatest loss wasn't physical, it was spiritual. The Atlanteans disconnected from the source within, trading unity for dominance. Their fall echoes our own world today, advanced yet divided, informed but unconscious. What if we're repeating the same pattern? The records suggest Atlantis didn't vanish, it transformed. Survivors seeded knowledge across the globe, embedding sacred geometry and cosmic codes in ancient sites. Their message: when consciousness falls, civilizations fall. And only through awakening can we rise again. Why is Atlantis resurfacing now? Because humanity is standing at a similar threshold. Technological growth is accelerating, but spiritual grounding is fragile. The ancient records speak of cycles, times when forgotten knowledge reemerges to guide evolution. Atlantis holds blueprints not just of collapse, but of rebirth. The reappearance of sacred geometry and architecture, interest in energy healing, and rediscovery of vibrational medicine are signs. This isn't nostalgia, it's resonance. As Earth's frequency rises, old wisdom becomes accessible again. The past isn't behind us, it's encoded around us, waiting to be remembered. Atlantis didn't die, it left instructions. If we listen, the esoteric traditions say when consciousness reaches a tipping point, hidden truths come to light. Maybe we're not just remembering Atlantis, maybe we're becoming it again. What if the fall of Atlantis wasn't a warning, but a mirror? A reflection of what happens when knowledge outpaces wisdom, when technology grows faster than consciousness. The Atlanteans mastered energy, but forgot humility. They built wonders, but lost reverence. That imbalance caused the collapse. Now, as we awaken, the same choice returns. Do we follow the old path blindly, or integrate the lesson? Atlantis isn't just history, it's a map, a reminder that evolution isn't just external, it's inner. That true advancement means aligning power with purpose and intellect with soul. Many believe the records of Atlantis were never lost, only veiled, protected until we were ready. Maybe that time is now. Maybe you're feeling the pull, the knowing, the call to remember. Because remembering isn't passive, it's activation. And those who remember are the ones chosen to rebuild what was once lost. What if Atlantis didn't vanish? It waited. Hidden in symbols, stories, and vibrations, waiting for consciousness to rise again. Maybe its fall wasn't an ending but a seed, one planted deep in the human psyche, destined to bloom when we were ready. That time is now. The echoes of Atlantis call out not through ruins but through intuition, through dreams, through synchronicities that make you pause and wonder. Atlantis is not just a place, it's a frequency, one that activates when hearts align with truth and minds open beyond fear. Its return isn't a rebuilding of cities, but of soul memory, of collective awakening. And if you've followed this far, it's not by accident. You're part of that remembering, not to idolize the past, but to embody the wisdom it left behind. Atlantis isn't lost. It's waking up. Through you. If this ancient truth still echoes in your soul, maybe it's time to follow the call. Subscribe, not for content, but for the pieces of yourself waiting to be remembered.